How do you make a 3,000-year-old story better? Well, start off by being this guy. Make banger songs, complex characters, and impossible moral situations. Epic is a story like we've never seen before. It follows the famous Greek epic, the Odyssey, and in my opinion, improves it. For those of you who haven't read the story and are uncultured, the story follows Odysseus as he struggles to return home to Ithaca after the Trojan War. The whole journey back takes him 10 years, which is actually pretty pathetic considering how short of a distance it is. I could go through the entire story and talk about everything incredible about the show, but tons of people have already done that, so I'm just going to focus on key moments that I think make the show really special. So basically at the end of the Trojan War, in Just a Man, Odysseus has received a vision, I believe from Zeus, that basically this infant is going to grow up and murder his family and everyone he loves. So basically he has to off the baby to live right away at the start of the show. He is faced with this great moral conflict. Like, oh, you know, I want this baby to live, and why can't I just raise it? But also I don't want him growing up and killing my family. So, yeah, it doesn't really get worse than that, and I think that really sets the moral grays of the show and kind of leads us into everything else. It immediately forces him to do something that goes against his morals, but overall helps the greater good. And there's a line that I really want to focus on that comes back later, and it's when Odysseus says, "Deep down I would trade the world to see my son and wife." And if you can't guess, the show kind of gets to the point where he would trade the world to see his son and wife. And I think as we progress through the story, we get to that deep down version of Odysseus where it really comes down to, would you be willing to give up all these things to get back home? So after already dealing with the Cyclops, Poseidon, Circe, and his crew not trusting him with the bag of wind, when he finally gets the chance to hear his fate by the prophet in the underworld, he leaves disappointed and angry. Don't get me wrong, right? Odysseus did make some mistakes along the way, like revealing his name to the Cyclops, and that was kind of the whole reason they got into the shit show anyway, but overall Odysseus had really cared and tried to protect his crew in order to get them all home safe. And hearing the prophet basically say that it wasn't him with Penelope and that someone returns home that wasn't him, whatever, it's devastating to hear. This, ladies and gentlemen, is his switch, and I believe this is actually the end of Act 1. Where Monster comes on, that's the song, and he basically fully switches towards ruthlessness. He changes his mindset to do whatever it takes to get back home. He feels as though at this point he has to be cold and decisive and put his feelings to the wayside just to do whatever it takes, because he has to see Penelope, he has to see Telemachus. So after Odysseus is changed because of the prophecy, he illustrates his new cutthroat mindset through cruelty to the sirens and when his crew encounters Scylla. Eurylochus confronts him for sacrificing 6 men without putting up a fight, and eventually the crew tie him up. The crew that he had fought so hard to protect had been betrayed by their leader for his own goals. Since they can't trust him now, even though he couldn't really trust them either, but you know, whatever, they decide to eat Helios's cows, which is a big no-no, even though Odysseus specifically warned them against it. This leads to, ladies and gentlemen, the best moment in the entire show, hands down. We have been building up to this the entire time. This is the deep down of where Odysseus has gotten to on his journey. Unlike in the book, Zeus actually gives him a choice in terms of who is going to pay for eating the cows. It's simple. It's him or his crew. This is what the entire story has been building up to. Just how far was Odysseus willing to go home? Odysseus is absolutely torn by this. I mean, these are essentially his brothers who he has been through war with, trials with, death with, and so for him to make the decision to sacrifice his crew was devastating. And at this point, he is now the only man left out of the original 600. And again, this moment kind of does feel like that callback to Just Man, because this is the moment where he sacrificed everything at this point just to get back home. So after the emotional fit that was Thunderbringer, Odysseus finds himself stranded on an island and forced to stay with the goddess Calypso. He's lost everything and everyone. His hopes of returning home fade with every single day. 7 years go by that he's stuck on this island, and he's forced to relive his mistakes and decisions basically in isolation. By the end of it, he's even driven towards ending his life as a result of all his PTSD. This is one of the many moments throughout the show that the music really makes us feel what had happened, especially with the line, "All I hear are screams." Odysseus has to grapple with all the people he's killed, all the men he's sacrificed for a goal he may not even accomplish. And the fact that he's lost so much time on this island is just the final nail. Thankfully, he doesn't end his life, and I believe there's two main reasons for this that intertwine. In the song Love in Paradise, Calypso tries to console her struggling partner by saying that she's always there for him, and that her arms are always open. This triggers a memory of Polites, who sings a banger of a song, okay? In my opinion, the best song in the entire show, Open Arms. Odysseus had pushed that open arms mindset away in the second act and fully embraced ruthlessness. Yet here he was, still stuck on this island for 7 years. I think this is important because Odysseus isn't just going to switch back to that open-minded attitude, but at the same time, he isn't going to fully return to ruthlessness either. I think by the end of the story, he'll be able to combine the two, as he learned on his journey that being ruthless helped him get home, but so did greeting the world with kindness in certain situations. So those are my favorite moments in the show that I think really make it special. Let me know who your favorite characters are, your favorite songs, your favorite plot points, all of it. I am becoming obsessed. I'm so pumped for the next two sagas. It's gonna be incredible. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe. I would really appreciate it. And I'm excited to probably do another video on this because I am obsessed. I have a problem. All right, love you all. Thanks so much for watching. Bye. This life is amazing.